Welcome back. Let's try this again. We've heard from union leaders about the protest today, so let's hear from a worker who's going through difficulties both at the office and financially. We're joined by Rich Sicina, who's a nurse at a Vosloorus hospital. Rich, hopefully you can hear me properly this time. Just tell me about the difficulties you face daily.
I was saying, for example, the most difficult, the most frustrating challenge we face daily in our line of duty is shortage of staff. The system has gross shortage of staff, and the population has increased immensely in South Africa. Taking into consideration the fact that the infrastructure we are still using is the old infrastructure, there's no increase in terms of numbers of hospitals that have been built, and they are not employing enough nurses. Sometimes you nurse 45 patients, and you are only 4 nurses. Obviously, it's a recipe for a disaster. You are going to produce substandard quality, substandard nursing care. As a result, nurses are frustrated, they are angry, they are disgruntled. Let alone the fact that we are getting poverty level salaries as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about the salaries a bit more, because that's one of the things that healthcare workers have been talking about, especially when it comes during a time of COVID-19. You're doing more than usual, right? Government says it doesn't have money. How do you feel about that?
It's demotivating. It's even demotivation is an understatement, because historically, nurses are getting poverty level salaries. You go to school for 4 years, you come back and you get plus or minus 14,000 as your take home. You are a professional. You can't afford a car and a house simultaneously, but you are a professional. Then, boom, come 2020, COVID-19, we were expecting, at least from government, as a token of appreciation for the fact that everybody knows that we are getting poverty level salaries, at least as a token of appreciation. Why don't you give us COVID-19 allowance? Even if it was 3,500 once off, just to say thank you, frontliners, keep on keeping on, don't give up. Worst of it all, we wrote to the president on the 1st of May this year to say, President, give us COVID-19 allowance, give us PPE, give us 6 months income tax break. It was going to make a huge difference, because the most disgruntlement and demotivation that is happening in this profession, it's because of the salaries that nurses are getting. Yeah. There's no improvement.
None whatsoever. So could you actually, of course, your essential service, did you manage to stay away today? Did you manage to go out on the streets at all?
We did, but it's not all of us. Remember, we are essential service providers, and there's nurses. If you can take nurses out of those hospitals and clinics, then all the hell will break loose. So there are those nurses who managed to go to the street. I'm one of them. I was there singing and trying to send a message to our employer to say, please, we do matter as well. We want to go to school. We want to be given. We were even fighting for PPE, for example. But it's not all nurses who were in the street. Because we care, we have emotional attachment to this, to our patients, and again, the intimidation. It's not only the fact that we care for our patients, but the fact that we are going to be intimidated by the same employer, telling you that you will be subjected to disciplinary hearing. Remember, not everyone understands Labor Relations Act and network issues and strike issues. So it's easy to intimidate nurses and say, please come to work the following day if ever there is a strike. But there are nurses who were there on the street, and I'm one of them.
So let's talk about the people in charge in government, right? You have the health minister, who will ultimately be your boss right at the top. You have the president, Cyril Ramaphosa. How do you feel about them? And do you feel it's a smack in your face that you're not getting an increase, that you're not getting proper protective gear, given all that you're doing?
To put it straight, we always say, in our case, we don't have leadership. We don't have leadership. Those people don't care about our healthcare system in South Africa. It's easy for them to go on national television sometimes and on radio or any social media platform and say, nurses are our heroes, nurses are the backbone of health. But that those salutations, they can't be transferred into XC. We don't see them. Like, there's no improvement. Hospitals are dilapidated out there. Nurses are not being sent to school. Like, there's a lot that is happening. Like, there's no consequence management in the system. Then if the leadership is weak, obviously, that is why our healthcare system is in tatters today. Everyone in South Africa will tell you that when you go to a public clinic or public hospital, it's a disaster. And we don't like that. We don't like that as nurses. We want to restore the image of the profession. We want everyone to come to our facilities and go back at least to having their lives or healthcare standard restored. No, but it's not going to happen under the leadership of eNCA, Cyril Ramaphosa. I'm telling you now, we are not going to move anywhere. More especially because even during a pandemic, even during a national state of disaster, it's even difficult to say, nurses, we love you, this is what we are going to do. If this is the resolution 1 of 2018, by the way, that they do not want to respect.
Yeah.
For the fact that we are in the front line against this COVID-19, a deadly disease, by the way, it has depopulated the whole world. They were supposed to say, let's give them. It's the last leg of the resolution. For the fact that they are still adamant, even today, saying that we do not have money, they are useless, to put it straight.
All right, strong words. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Nurse Rich Sicina speaking to us there from Vosloorus.